Okay, today we are going to do a speed multiplication. It's a new technique. It will allow you to multiply relatively large numbers very quickly. You don't have to do standard multiplication, you can do very fast. So we are starting with the problem 97 times 93. And the way to do it is we need a reference number, a round number like 100 or 150 or 50, which will help us with this multiplication process. So let's rewrite 97 times 93. And as I said, we need to find a reference number, and looks like a good reference number would be 100. So let's write it down on the side. Reference number is 100. And every problem will have a different reference number. And usually we circle the reference number on the left side. Now what you have to find is, with respect to the reference number, each of these multiplicands, how far they are, whether it's in the positive direction, negative direction, how far they are. So 97 is 3 below the reference number. So we'll write minus 3 for 97, and when it's a negative, you write it below the number, minus 3, the circle on it. And for 93, it is 7 below the reference number, so you write minus 7. Put a circle on it. Okay, now what we will be doing is we will do a crosswise addition. So 97 with minus 7 will make it 90. You can do the same thing with 93 with minus 3. That will also make it 90. So you can choose any path for the crosswise. So let's draw the arrows. Equal sign. So we will have 90, and then you have to multiply it with the reference number. So you do a crosswise addition and then multiply that result with the reference number. And it's easy to see, it will be 9,000. Okay. Now this step is done. We are then going to do a sidewise addition, a sidewise multiplication. So minus 3 times minus 7 is 21, and there are two negative signs multiplying, so it will be positive. So in this case, you are going to add the 21 to 9,000. So plus 21, and the sum is giving you 9021. And this is the result of 97 times 93. You can even check it. And I will now write the steps down. So step 1. Step 1 is choose an appropriate reference number. And this is a very, very important step. If your reference number is strange or not very round number, let's say you choose a reference number 96. Then you have to multiply 96 with this crosswise addition. That becomes very difficult by itself, right? So you need to find a round number like 100 or 150, that way that you can easily multiply in your head. Okay, so the next step is step 2. So in step 2, you are first going to do this crosswise addition. And make sure you put a round around the reference number, that way you do not mix it up. So step 2, is note the difference between one of those multiplicants and the numbers underneath them in a crosswise direction, and then you have to multiply it with the reference number. So note the difference. Reference number and multiplicants. And you have to multiply it with the reference number. Actually, we'll make it as a step 3. And I'm trying to also say that if it's positive, it will be above it. Step 3, crosswise addition. Now I say addition, but if it is a negative number, it becomes a subtraction. So crosswise addition and then multiply by reference number. Okay, and step 4, it's sidewise addition and then add to the result. Actually, this should be sidewise multiplication and then add to the result. So that -3 and -7 were multiplied and then added to the previous result. And the most important step again is checking your answer. You're doing it in a hurry, so make sure that you did it correct. Okay, so let's do the next one. 1.6b. The multiplication is, let's write 1.6b. The multiplication is 58 times 47. So let's write it properly so we can work on it with space above and below it. So a good reference number in this case would be 50. 50 is a round number, easy to multiply with, and it's around these numbers. Doesn't always have to be in between them, it can be around them, somewhere close to them. So that when we are taking differences, we are not dealing with large things. So write 50 next to it, the circle, and I'll just write it reference number. So this process is meant to be a very fast process. I'm just explaining it. That's why it is taking a little time. So 50 with 58, the difference is +8. So you're writing it above with a circle. And for 47, the difference is 3, -3. So it's writing it in the bottom. So now we do a crosswise addition. You can choose 58 with -3 or 47 with +8. It still is the same, and then you have to multiply with 50. So 58 with -3 is 55 times 50 is 2750. And now you have to do a sideways. In this case, the sideways looks like a crossways, but it's basically you're working between 8 and 3, or +8 and -3. This is not really a cross. This is more of a side because you are choosing from the left to the right. Okay. So you can write 8 with minus 3. Multiplication is minus 24. So write minus 24. And then we do quick subtraction. 6, 2, 2, 7. That's your answer, and you can check it. So now let's move into the third problem. Let me draw a line. (1.6c) The problem is 113 times 88. Again, it looks like 100 would be a nice reference number, so let's write it on the side. 113 is plus 13 from the reference number, so we write it above. And 88 is minus 12, so we write it below. Equal sign. So now 113 minus 12 is 101, and then you have to multiply with the reference number. So that will make it 101, 00. You can do the same thing with 88 and plus 13. That will also be 101. So 101, and then the 00 comes from multiplying it with the reference number. And now 13 times 12. We know 12 times 12 is 144. So another 12 would make it 13 times 12, which is 156. And that will be a negative because you're multiplying a positive with a negative number. So minus 156. So you have to subtract it quickly, and the result will be 9944. Okay, so that gives you an idea of how quickly we can do it. You can do the pure multiplication also, but if you are working with four digit numbers or 5-digit numbers, that becomes challenging. So this is one technique. It does not mean that you have to use this technique all the time. If you feel that you can use it in certain cases, you can definitely take advantage of it. Okay, I'll see you in the next video.